And welcome back to Chico and the Grin podcast, episode number 6. What we got on the agenda today?
Hurricanes. All things hurricanes.
Yeah, funny story about the hurricanes. As you know, I have a family in Texas. So the other day I was just chatting with my sister, and she was telling me about what's going on down there. And because they're in Texas, but they weren't in the eye of the storm of the Hurricane Harvey. However, there was friends and family who got severely affected, and me being in New York, just being in New York, things tend to hit us a little differently with weather. So when I found out she was going through some stuff, I had to call and check in on her. But one of the things she told me, she was like, she's fine in her area because she's in Austin. However, her friends weren't. She personally knows people who just lost everything. Like, seriously.
Just lost all their possessions?
Everything. Yeah, man. One of the things she was telling me, she was like, she's fortunate because they have a house. They got stable incomes and that type of shit. But she was like, yo, man, some people don't have that. They don't have money. They don't have the resources to evacuate, or else they would evacuate. So she was like, when it comes to these situations, it's not really like something you can prepare for. It's like you either have the money or you don't. And if you don't, you're just taking a risk of losing it all. I mean, she goes into detail and she tell me how many people were staying with her in their house. Mm-hmm. And it was like 7 people, 4 dogs, 2 cats.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man, 3-bedroom house.
And she's in which part of Texas?
Austin.
So
they were right outside of the storm, pretty much. They got like heavy rain and stuff, but like Austin's all flatlands and hills and shit.
So they didn't get any flooding.
No flooding. The worst weather they'll have is like ice on the road, So they didn't get any flooding. And then I had one of my best friends down in San Antonio, and he was like, it's funny. Like the week before the hurricane hit, he hits me up on Facebook, and he was like, "Yo, let's chit chat about go bags," because I ain't gonna say I'm an expert or anything like that, but people know me for having an interest in that type of shit,
mm-hmm.
And it was like, damn, we had a discussion. He sends me a link to some stuff, and I'm like, yo, man, that's all garbage. Everything on the link that he sent me, I was like, this is all garbage. And I explained to him why. I was like, you need these types of things. Everything else is just fluff, right? Push comes to shove. Come to find out, it's like next week they get the fucking hurricane. He's in San Antonio, so they're a little bit more closer to the Houston area. And he was like, yeah, man. He was like, because of that conversation, he didn't have everything he wanted to have, but because he spoke to me, he had shit ready. And he was like, he had to bunker down in his home. He had stuff for his girl, had stuff for his wife. And he was like, yeah, they were ready to leave if needed. But luckily, it didn't get that bad. It was just heavy rain. But, man, it was like, just talk to them. And then everybody's telling me, like, different things about it. I can't even imagine what's going on down there. It's like the pictures and everything. It's like Mother Nature is fucked up.
Oh yeah, she will destroy everything in her way. Some of the photos I've seen from down there are really scary. I mean, there were photos of highways being completely flooded, like feet of like 10, 12 feet of water.
Yeah.
Like you would literally need a boat to get down the highway.
But it's like those houses, once your house is flooded, it's like, yeah, the water will recede, it'll dry out, but there's mold.
Yep.
There's rust. There's all these other problems where your house is no good anymore.
Yeah, most people I don't think understand.
What the fuck?
Yeah, most people I think, oh, it's flooded. Okay, when the water goes away, I can move back in. No, the water will destroy a house.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, especially when it gets inside.
Yeah, like I've been down in, we got a friend down in New Orleans, and I go visit him a couple times, and there's still parts of New Orleans not fixed. Yeah, the houses are there, the structures are there, but they're condemned.
Right,
it's just
people can't afford to fix the house.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of empty, abandoned places. And they have the X on them. And they have like this symbol they use down there. It's known as the NOLA X or something. I think that's what it's called. But it's like, yeah, it's just shit because it's like they don't have the money to just demolish every single residence. But there's a lot of them, man.
Yeah,
there was a guy, Bun B, a rapper from Houston, one of the legends from down there, and he was saying like, yeah, man, there's the amount of damage can't be fixed right now. It's like
It's like, I think somebody said it was about $10 billion worth of damage.
Yeah.
In Houston, which is crazy to think about because like $10 billion is a lot of money. I mean, I don't know. It's surreal when you see the photos. The photos, like I knew it was gonna be bad down there just from the reports, but I didn't really consider what it would look like until I saw the photos of people like in boats rowing down the street.
Man, I thought about buying a kayak. No, serious, because I go kayaking on the river, you know. But no, in the heat of the moment, I was like, shit, I should get like an inflatable raft. You know, it's something I thought about. It sounds funny, yeah, and I laugh at it. I didn't do it, but after seeing those images and everything what was going on down there, I thought about it. You know, I was like, shit, maybe I should have like an inflatable raft.
I mean, it can't hurt, right?
We are right next to the river,
right? I mean,
the Hudson River.
Yeah. The worst that can happen is that it just sits in your closet.
Yeah. But
I mean, yeah. I
shit,
mean, and
you
now
wouldn't be saying that if it was a flood. You'd be like,
yeah,
fuck, Small's got that raft.
That's right. Let's take an Uber down to his house and wait for it to wait for the streets to fill up. We'll jump in the raft.
People be laughing until I be sailing.
row your boat. I can see Sparks with a white sailor hat on. You in a yellow raincoat, being like, "Told you, bitches. Told you they got a goddamn raft."
Y'all didn't listen to me. Buy them in bulk.
Oh man, but on the topic of hurricanes, there's another hurricane coming.
Yeah.
Irma, she's already hitting the Caribbean islands.
Yes.
Puerto Rico, from what I last heard, where I have some relatives.
There's three. There's two more.
You
said
Irma
Jose,
and
and
Jose.
there's another one, right?
I forgot the name of the other one.
Like Lita or Ida or something.
Lena or
Because they go
Lena?
in alphabetical order.
Right.
So we
Something
got
with an
Irma,
L.
Jose, some with a G. I know there's another one.
There is another one. I don't remember the name at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't, from what I understand, I don't think Irma's gonna hit us up here. But
not.
yeah, but apparently Jose might.
Mm.
I'm not sure how Donald Trump feels about that, but Irma, I like how you got the joke.
Yeah.
Irma apparently they said it was a class 5.
Yeah,
And
the worst of the worst.
And they said it got dangerously close to being class 6, which has never happened before.
I thought they said about 5. 5's never happened before.
No, I'm pretty sure 5's happened before.
And they were like, it's so big that it's setting off the earthquake meters.
Oh, really?
The seismatic. I think is that the word for it?
Seismeter. Yeah.
With the rumbles, I'm like,
That's pretty scary.
Yeah.
Every time I hear stuff like that, it reminds me of the first time I saw the movie Twister, and they're chasing the tornadoes, and then the category 5 or the Cat 5 one happens, and they're like, oh shit, this hasn't happened, and then you flash back to the main character when she was a little girl in the house. The tornado blew the house away and took her dad with her. I always think like, oh man, that's gonna be fucking terrifying.
Speaking of movies, over the past weekend, I watched none but disaster flicks.
Why would you do that to yourself? Why would you?
I was just in the zone. I was painting. But I had them on, and I was like 2012. I didn't think I got to San Andreas, but I watched a couple of them. I think 1 or 2 zombie flicks. But I was like, it made me think of like differently. I looked at them differently because of what's going on in the news right now and what's going on in the world. Because we're not the only ones getting hit.
No,
with bad storms.
Nope.
You know?
Everybody's catching
Mother
Nature's hands
right now, all at once.
Yeah, everything's. It's just that's terrible.
Yeah.
But on the topic of movies, you saw Shot Caller. We spoke about it in one of our previous podcasts. I didn't get to watch it, but why don't you tell us and tell me overall what you thought about the movie? Give us
I'm not going to call it
the John Smalls review.
I won't call it great, but I won't, because like for me, a great movie was like War for the Planet of the Apes. You see that shit?
Yeah,
that was great. That whole movie, I was like, how did they get the apes to do that? And I got to keep reminding myself, these motherfuckers are CGI.
Wait a minute,
that was a badass movie.
Let me stop you right there.
What, you didn't see it?
I did see it, but you thought those were real monkeys?
No, of course I didn't think they were real monkeys. I knew it was CGI, but I'm saying is like the CGI was so fucking good. Like I would just catch myself.
You forgot you were in a theater?
Yeah, no, I would catch myself all the time like, damn, they really trained. And I was like, dumbass, this fucking CGI. But it was so good. Except for Caesar. He's the only one who looked fake. Did you notice that? The rest of them look realistic as hell, but Caesar,
well, they all looked really fake to me.
It was like I think because they made his eyes differently. They gave him human eyes, rather than like ape eyes. But the rest of them, I was like, you know, I'm a graphics guy. I'm just like, whoa, this is dope.
I'm telling you,
I thought that movie was great.
In a few years, they're gonna have graphics where you can't even tell.
Yeah.
That it's like they were doing that in Star Wars when they spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen Rogue One. If you haven't,
that was good.
Go kill yourself.
Yeah. That's my favorite one.
The reveal with Princess Leia at the end.
Yeah.
Or Grand Moff Tarkin. Like you can tell, like in that movie, you could tell it wasn't really. They could tell it was CGI.
Yeah.
But you could also see, wow, it's really creepy how close they're
like
getting.
Paul Walker.
Yeah. Yeah, that made me uncomfortable.
I was like, ooh,
that made me that made me uncomfortable. I was like, but yeah, I mean, but Shot Caller. How was Shot Caller?
Back to the movie.
All right.
So Shot Callers, it was good. It was very good.
On a scale from 1 to 10,
I say a 7.
That's pretty strong.
And the only reason I say a 7 because there was like, it's a long story, but they cut through so quick, you know. And one thing I picked up on, you can always tell the time progression by the tattoos he has.
Right, that's what I noticed in the trailer.
Yeah, there's one because they show like he has they show scenes where he's getting tattooed, but there's a scene where he has like white power just an outline, right, just an outline on his back, and then there's another scene where it's like filled in, and there's another scene when there's a cross in the middle. It's like you can always just tell the progression by his ink, and I was like, I picked up on it. I was like, okay, because it wasn't like a transition, like 5 years, 10 years.
He went into prison with no tattoos, I'm guessing.
Of course, he was like a white collar guy. It was an accident, but I like the character, man. Like I forgot, man, who was the guy? It wasn't the guy who played Two-Face, right? No.
Who the guy, the main character?
Yeah.
No, that's the guy who plays Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah. But no, he's been in other stuff, right?
Yeah, but I think most people know him from Game of Thrones.
Well, he played that role, man.
Did he? I'm gonna have to watch it now.
In the movie, it's bloody. It's like it's not gore, but it's bloody. It's realistic as fuck. Like you watch the movies and it's like, oh shit, they're not holding back on anything.
Good.
His first night in prison was like, oh shit. He was like, yo, that's not gonna be me. He's like,
I can already tell what that's about.
That scene was just like, he was like, nah, man. He's like, whatever y'all need me to do, that's not gonna be me.
Jesus.
Yeah, they took it there. I was like, fuck. But it reminded me of American Me. You know, like when I grew up and I lived on the West Coast for a little bit, so it's like it reminds me of like all those movies back from the 90s, like American Me and Blood In, Blood Out, Bound by Honor, all that shit, you know, the gang movies. But this was just, I felt like this was a movie telling a different story of the gang, because you know you always have the gang movies where it's like the Mexican gangs and Mexican mafias, or something with the streets and the Crips and all that. But this was like, yo, it was a movie about white guys in prison, you know, the Aryan Brotherhood, you know, and it was a good story. It wasn't, from my perspective, I don't feel it was cheesy or like after school special type shit with a message, because there was no fucking message.
Right. Just
it wasn't like they're gonna hit you with a message like, hey, don't go to prison. Like, nah, motherfucker.
It's real life.
This is it.
Go to prison, get fucked up.
There was no moral. It was like, yo, this is it.
And how was the performance? I forget his name, but he's the guy who played the cop, the Hispanic guy.
There was a lot of cops. Benjamin Bratt was in it.
Yeah, him, not Benjamin Bratt. Is it Benjamin Bratt? The main guy. He had the goatee.
Oh, he's not. Is he? He might be Dominican.
He's Mexican, I think.
Shut the fuck up.
Pretty sure, or Puerto Rican.
I think we're getting guys confused.
Maybe
he's a dude. The main cop.
He was in Law and Order.
That's Benjamin Bratt.
Okay, then him.
That's
yes.
who you're talking about. Yeah. He wasn't the main cop, but he had a role. He did fine. His role was like a B character. He was fine. But
damn,
the main
they gave
cop,
him a B character.
Well, I say so because he had a. It wasn't a main role.
Did they even give him credit at the end?
I don't know. But the main cop, who was like throughout the whole story, that guy, he was a Omari something. He's the guy from Power, that show Power.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And he was all right. His character was like all the cops, they were just like they were like side characters. The main story was the street gang, and then the prison gangs, and how they function, you know, and why, and it was like, it was a good story, you know, and it was like the way, and you know who did a great job? I'm messing up his name, John Brenenthal, the guy who played Punisher.
John Bernthal.
Yeah, Brenenthal.
Bernthal. Yeah. Well, he's in the movie too. I forgot.
Yeah,
he's a powerful actor.
Yo,
I don't think people realize how strong he is.
I can't tell you shit because you're gonna be like, oh, Because there's one scene when he's like up here, and then there's another scene when he's like down here.
Okay.
And
Well, I'm gonna watch the movie this weekend for sure. I'm gonna watch it this
all
weekend.
all I can say was like when you see the transition, you take a second, you're like, oh shit! Now this dude's taking orders from this dude.
Oh
like,
boy,
it's cool, man.
you got me hyped.
Yeah, it's like I said, it was a good. It was entertaining. It was shocking as fuck, and it was serious.
Nice.
It wasn't like comical. It was fucking serious. The whole tone of the movie, I was just like, this is intense.
Yeah.
And bloody. Okay.
Okay. So Shot Caller sounds pretty awesome.
You saw American Me, right?
Yeah.
All right.
So there's another movie I'm super excited about. I don't know if you were into horror movies, but it comes out tomorrow. I'm assuming you saw the original one because how can you not? What?
No, I never saw it.
You never saw the original It?
No.
Who are you?
I never saw it.
How could you have never seen that movie?
Saw Cujo.
Came out in 1991,
Saw
I believe.
Pet Cemetery 1 and 2.
Okay, and you're missing the biggest hit of them all, next to Carrie of Stephen
Saw
King's.
Carrie.
Right,
Yeah.
which put him on the map.
Never saw it.
You never. How did you not? It's fucking terrifying.
Never saw it.
This movie has made people. This movie has made people who are not afraid of clowns afraid of clowns.
No. You know what's gonna make people afraid of clowns? American Horror Story.
Well,
you see that shit?
Yeah, I saw it. But you know what? The American Horror Story stuff never really scared me to begin with.
No.
The one with all the teeth did.
They're always they're always about suspense.
Right.
But this season, because it just came back on,
Right.
and they got some clowns in there.
Yeah,
and
I
it's
saw.
fucking mad.
I saw all the marketing. It's scary.
Holy
No, it's
shit.
scary. But you don't understand.
It's twisted.
Yeah,
and
but
they
you-
open up big with Donald Trump.
Right. But you know.
Big talking about him, man.
But look, here's the difference. It was about a clown.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Sort of a clown
was
that
good one, too.
targeted children is what made it creepy. It's not that it was scary because there were parts that were scary, but it was that it was creepy. It was one of those things where like you were watching it and you were just like, "This is."
But was he an alien?
No, he's a demon.
Oh,
No, he's a bad spirit. I'm not sure what they're gonna change. Well, I checked last night and the previewers who saw it rated on Rotten Tomatoes, and I'm not a big person about ratings. I usually watch a movie for myself.
they gave John Wick 100.
Well, John Wick deserved that because John Wick is just such a fun movie. You can't not enjoy that movie.
Well, I mean, they gave John Wick 2 100.
Right.
Yeah.
But they gave the remake coming out tomorrow 100%.
Ooh.
And the ratings that they have by users, 91%.
Nice.
So it's going to be really good. I'm so excited. The first one scared me so bad. I remember because it was a straight-to-TV movie. It never came out in theaters.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I remember watching it as a kid on Fox one day. It scared the shit out of me. It didn't make me afraid of clowns, but it definitely was like, I get why people think clowns are creepy. And Tim Curry did such a good job of playing it.
Rest in peace.
I know. Did he die? He had a stroke. I don't think he died.
No, I think he was dead, man.
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry, same dude who did
Home Alone, Clue. He was the butler in Home Alone. Rocky Horror Picture Show. Yeah, I don't think he died.
He did, man.
Oh, you're about to break my heart.
I think it was like
All right,
last year before.
We got to find out if he died or not because I don't think he died. Let me see here.
Oh, shit. He is still alive.
Yeah, he had a massive stroke, which I know left him with like the curly lip. But yeah, I don't think he's dead. But yeah, so I'm excited for it.
Curly
I think it's
lip.
yeah. They left him. He got the stroke lip. I think I think this new version is going to be really good. And I've seen some previews. If you check in one of the scenes, you can see the old It in the background in one of the scenes. There's a scene where It is standing in a room surrounded by clowns. If you look to the back left of the frame, you see the old It costume laying down, and it looks like somebody's in it. It's creepy. It's really creepy. But I encourage you to watch the original It
before this one.
And yeah, and then you'll see like there's just scene like this. The most famous scene is when he's in the sewer and the kid's trying to get the boat back, and he goes, "You seem like a nice kid, Georgie. Come, take it." And the kid goes, "I'm not supposed to talk to strangers." And he goes, "Well, I'm not a stranger. That just means you don't know me. I'm Pennywise. See, now we're not strangers. Here." And as the kid reaches in, it turns into a demon with these big ass teeth, grabs Georgie and pulls him into the sewer, and he disappears.
Shit.
Yeah, and then the whole premise, and I am sure I'm not spoiling it for anybody because most people.
I mean, it's a remake,
right? But you haven't seen the original, so. But the whole idea is that this town, it's very much kind of like Freddy Krueger, in the sense that Freddy Krueger was a spirit that was known by people in the neighborhood, by the older people, but by the younger kids, not really. Same thing with it. It was known to be a thing that appeared every 27 years in the sewer system.
Well, that's in the trailer.
Right. But most people didn't know that. It said in the first movie.
Showed a map, and he's always attacking around these areas.
In the book, it mentions that it only appears every 27 years.
Okay.
And I'm sure they did this on purpose. But when the movie was originally released, and today and tomorrow makes 27 years. So 27 years and it's back. So hopefully in another 27 years they don't release it again because that would be retarded. But I can't wait. I'm excited. Are there any other movies you're excited for? Because we don't talk about movies a whole lot.
We were debating for a while about martial art movies. We were supposed to do a whole episode on that shit.
So I will tell you, I did watch Ghost Dog. I'm never going to forgive you for making me watch that.
Did you like it?
No.
Come on.
Okay, I'll give it this. It has the same charm that movies like Bloodsport have.
Okay.
It's in the same realm of like I'm watching it and I can be like, okay. But I'm just like, but really, like what's more impossible? The fact that some different Belgian
Bloodsport ain't even a true story.
Listen, it depends who you ask.
This shit. Look it up.
Frank Dukes is super. He's
a con artist.
He is a con artist, but the story is entertaining. The story is as unbelievable as it is. The story is more believable than a ninja with a lazy eye hired as an assassin. More believable. More, and that's saying a lot. If somebody told me in 1980 that, I'm going to the secret tournament in the woods, or a secret tournament in Hong Kong, and it's full contact, I'm like, okay, I can see that might happen.
Yeah.
That might. If Forrest Whitaker came up to me and said I was a ninja and I was an assassin for the mafia, I'd be like, okay, you have a lazy eye, you can't see straight. How are you an assassin? You're giant and you're black. You stand out like a sore thumb. How are you a ninja?
But he blends in.
With who?
Everybody.
He's walking around in a black leather trench coat with a sword. And with the gloves that have the fingertips cut off and the knuckles showing. That stands out. Fucking 80s. I can't with these 80s movies. As much as I love them,
There's a... All right, so you don't like Ghost Dog. I won't bring it up again.
No. I enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
But it's just... It's too... They should have put a wizard in there just to make it a fantasy, and I would have enjoyed it more.
There's that one scene with the RZA where they walk up to each other, and I thought they should do like more of a story than tell like, okay, because on the RZA he's credited in a movie as Samurai Number 2,
right? And
so I was like, shit,
RZA needs to stop making movies.
Hey, The Man with the Iron Fist was all right.
That movie was. I was about to bring that up. That movie was so bad.
Do you see part 2?
No, because part 1 annoyed. So I saw it when part 1 was announced. I got super hyped for it because it looked badass. But I've come to the conclusion that while RZA has good ideas for movies, he's a terrible actor. Like watching the scene where he's forging the thing when those guys come in, they would say, "I need 20 of these made." Yeah. And just the overacting. And I'm no acting specialist. I'm not an actor. I'm not a coach. But you can tell when somebody overacts, and it was just too dramatic. Also, the actors he chose, it's weird. The actors that he chose for the first movie, independently in some of the other films they've been in, have been really good. Yeah. But in that movie, they did not mesh well. I did not like the way that... So you're saying the second one's better?
The first... I agree. The first one was a shit show. He did too much. There was too many characters.
So many.
Hell, even... I'm going to tell you like this. I saw it in a theater, and the end credits wasn't even completed. It was like there was a scene where like some bird guys or some shit, but they're showing them on a mountain, and then it switches. Like for people who know 3D design, it goes from the rendered image to like the 3D. What's it called? Not the shell shading, but it wasn't even a rendered image. It just switched, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Yeah, it was the unpolished version versus the polished version, all in the credits. So I think like the first one, he had the big name actors, he had the big budget, he directed it. In the story,
I could tell.
It was all this shit, right? And I was like, yeah, it was just bad. It was just too much stuff. And then the thing that really got to me, the fight scenes were kind of lame.
So bad.
But there was one good thing about the first one. There's a channel called Machinima.
Yeah.
They did a animated trailer to Man with the Iron Fist that was dope. It was like, it tells a story of how him and this other guy were slaves. Slave ship crashed in Asia or somewhere, and then they broke free, and then they had to blend in and stuff. And it's kind of like the way it's drawn is drawn like Chinese brush paintings, but it's dope. But it's animated,
right?
And then they show like that Bautista character who's like the big muscle dude, but it's all illustrations, and it's like a prequel to the actual story. So part 2 came out a couple years ago, straight to Netflix, right? And it was good. It was like, it was smaller budget, better acting, believe it or not. I can't say like it was a big cast. It had this one guy who's always in these movies. I don't know his name, but I know him from 21 Jump Street, the original. Oh. Filipino. I think he's Vietnamese.
I know who you're talking about.
But he was one of the main guys. And you know what? There was another guy in there. I don't know his name. But then there was RZA, right? And it was just a simple story, but the acting, even though it was low budget, I felt it was a lot better. Mm-hmm. And it was less dramatic and shit was in fluff. It was just like, okay, here's an action movie continuing the story of the Man with the Iron Fist. I felt it was a lot better. Okay. Overall, you know, but they didn't have Lucy Liu in there, so.
Lucy Liu.
Yeah, Lucy Liu.
I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on a lot of this kind of stuff.
But there's a movie, because you know I love action flicks, martial arts flicks especially. So, but there's different genres. You know, you got the classics, the 70s, Shaw Brothers shit. You got the 80s. Americans was big on action, and then Jet Li and Jackie Chan came up, and then now you got like, well, Donnie Yen's not really doing stuff anymore. He's getting up there. He's about to retire.
Right. Well, I mean, he's still doing those Ip Man movies.
Well, yeah, but that was a couple years ago. But right now, like the big guys are Tony Jaa.
Yeah.
I don't know his name, but his company is Minratu. It was actually the name of his first movie too. His first movie was called Minratu, and the main guy who was in the Raid 1 and 2.
Okay,
that guy.
Yeah,
right. I don't know his name. I think he's Thai, but him, Tony Jaa, and then who else? Michael Jai White's been doing good stuff. Believe it or not,
he's still acting.
That's straight to DVD shit. Yo, there's money in that, man. People stay busy. He's been doing a lot of films that have been produced overseas. Okay. So he has a market. But so what I was getting to is there's a movie that's out right now. I believe it came out August 25th in America. Oh, fuck. Just lost the name. It's not Lady Vengeance, but it's like all right. So you ever see fuck, I'm drawing a blank. There's a movie Hardwire Harry, Hardcore.
Oh yeah, Hardcore Henry. Henry.
First person shooter style, right? Yep. So there's a movie where they take that style of filming, but they mix it with like regular films as well, regular film style as well, right? So there's a female assassin, and she's just like, I think she gets set up because it's Korean. She gets set up.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then all of a sudden she just flips her fucking way.
Yeah, I saw. You sent me the trailer.
Yeah, I'm sure I posted it. But the action, I was like, I gotta see that shit because it's like they're doing that first person shooter style, but they're also mixing in the regular combat fighting style. Oh, speaking of that, there is one thing I wanted to mention. I saw recently Hitman's Bodyguard.
Oh, how was that?
It wasn't bad. It was a good comedy.
I want to see it. I like Ryan Reynolds.
It's typical what you would think of like a Ryan Reynolds
buddy cop.
Sam Jackson. Not buddy cop exactly, but close. It's along that genre, right? And I could definitely see them doing a part 2. But there's a scene, the fucking fight scene. There's a fight scene with Ryan Reynolds and one of the main bad guys. That shit was awesome. Awesome. It was like one of the best fight scenes, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Better than John Wick Common?
It's up there, but it's not for the action.
Okay.
All right. Even though the action is good. It's like there's a scene where like, because Ryan Reynolds, he's tough, but he's not like invincible, right? So I like that about the character. He's fighting, but it's like, shit, I can't beat all y'all, you know? So he's running. But there's a scene where he gets away, and then he like hides in his store. And I got to tell you, because it's part of the action. So he gets away, he hides in his store. And then once the guy comes into the store, they just start fighting. Boom, all over. It's like a hardware store. But the thing that makes it great is because of the way they shot that scene. So imagine like, and I doubt they did it in one take, but the way it's shot, it looks like they did this whole thing in one fucking take. It's awesome. It's just, I was blown away when I was watching. I was like, this shit is badass. And So they're in there, they're fighting. But imagine, if you will, like two guys are fighting inside of a store, and then the cameraman, instead of like holding the camera in place and like standing in the corner filming this fight scene, the cameraman is walking around them as they fight.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, man. I was like, that shit was awesome. It was like nonstop. He's just holding his camera like just on them every single move, and I was like, it was like he was right in their face with the camera, like right there as he's getting punched. Boom, it's rolling on the ground. He's like, the camera just like following him the whole time, and it's like switching from each person, Ryan Reynolds to the henchman. And it's like, but just watching it, I was like, this is awesome. This fight scene is, and it was long too. So I don't want to say 5 minutes, but you know how the movies they seem like forever. And it's like 2 minutes or some shit. But it was a good fight scene. It's memorable. And I would put it up there for like, yo, this is one of those good ones. Like, straight up, it's a good fight scene. And like I say, it's not for the action. They're not like doing crazy moves and shit.
Right.
You know, but the way it was filmed, I was like, that's awesome. That was different.
That's what I like. I like different, like a different perspective when you watch a movie. Because you can always see the same thing in movies all the time.
Yeah.
There's like a script, but it's all choreographed. The cinematography is a lot of times same, but it's certain movies that do different things with the camera angles. Like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was one of the first movies that had that style of cinematography. Is what made it famous.
Okay.
And people remember that movie because it was, when they first saw it, they were like, this looks kind of weird. Like the perspective and the way they pan and the close-ups. Like, it's really, was a Fistful of Dollars. I forget. It was either Good, Bad, the Ugly or Fistful of Dollars. But it's definitely a Clint Eastwood movie. It's a spaghetti western that they kind of borrowed some of the.
Those are underrated. Yeah,
they borrowed some of the cinematography skills from the Japanese. Kurosawa.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, and it changed the way American cinematographers filmed. So I like when movies take a chance and they try something different, because it's a big risk if you do something really different in a feature film and you mess it up and the film doesn't do well because everybody's like, that's kind of weird. Like Hardcore Henry made a lot of people nauseous because of the first person thing. Like, everybody was like, whoa.
But did you see the music video that the guy did
For Hardcore Henry?
No, it was like the reason it originally started from I think it was a Russian band or something like that. But the guy in the band did the music video.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I believe that's the story. I watched the music video several times. It's dope. It's like a mini movie, but because of that music video, it's a whole bunch of, it's a fight scene, all this shit. They're trying to capture something. So it's just a first person shooter. It's like some spy shit, but it's dope, you know. And it's like going through this whole warehouse. You gotta watch it. It's just too much to explain, but it's good because it's a music video. Because of that music video, they were like, you're unique. Fuck whatever the band was. This guy, we gotta do something with him. And that guy who did the music video did Hardcore Henry. That's how he got into Hollywood. I was like, that's fucking dope. Because you did one unique video for some band and nobody fucking remembers.
Yep.
But you were talking about people being unique and with shooting and cinematography. That makes me think of Ang Lee with the first Incredible Hulk.
That movie was straight trash.
Yeah, but he was trying to do something different with the shots.
Yeah.
To make it seem like the comic book panels. Remember that?
Right.
I
didn't mind that part. I didn't mind that. Yeah.
Yeah, the movie wasn't that good.
No.
You know, but I appreciated how he was at least trying to do something different.
Yeah.
With the panels.
Well, that's the thing. You take a chance. Either you succeed at it, or you fail miserably. And when you fail really bad. When you take a chance and it does not work out, it's not just a regular like flop. It's like a colossal flop.
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays it's kind of hard because the marketing behind a lot of these movies is so planned and plotted out with social media. Like, it kind of ingrained. Like, I saw that a lot with the marketing for it.
To it.
I try not to. I've learned that I need to stop watching so many trailers. Like, they release like 5 trailers for the movie.
That's bullshit.
I always watch. What I'll do now is when they release the first trailer for the movie, not the teaser. The teaser I'll watch is like 30 seconds. Yeah. But when they release the full length trailer, I'll watch that, and then I won't watch any of the other trailers. I don't care what scenes they show. I'll watch it when the movie comes out. Now I just watch the first trailer. Yeah. Just like back in the day, you only got one trailer, and then that's it. If I see the trailer if I go to the theaters and I see a trailer There, I won't watch them online. I'll have to just try to remember what I saw in the theater, and that's it. Because I want to actually go to the movies, because I go to the movies a lot. I go to the movies like 3 or 4 times a month.
Stubs, premiere.
Yeah. That's right. And I'm starting to think I might want to do that Movie Pass thing, that Movie Pass app where do you hear about that?
No.
There's well, yeah.
But I know movies are $5 on Tuesdays.
Right, but this is different. So basically, for those who don't know, I think it should still be going on because I haven't heard anything. But there is this company called Movie Pass, and they had an app, and they were in the news recently because they did this thing where you pay. I think you sign up for their service, and no matter what theater you go to when you want to see a movie, it's $10 for a ticket. $10. That's cheaper than anywhere else in New York City that you're gonna get for a price of one ticket. And you can any day.
Matinee, hold on, 125th.
Yeah, but you gotta be there at a certain time, and then you gotta deal with 125th Street. But yeah, so you could technically watch a movie every single day.
Okay.
For $10, and it's
wait, $10 per ticket or just $10 per month?
$10 per ticket.
Per ticket. No.
So $10 per ticket. Which means if you go to the movie on average of 2 times a month, you're already saving money because the ticket's on average $13-$14 in New York City.
Yep.
So you sign up, you buy a ticket. You can buy 1 ticket per day per person. So if you and your girlfriend want to go, you each have to have your own account, and you each have to buy a ticket separately. But all these people were getting freaked out, like all the companies like AMC and stuff, because like, how are you charging $10 for a ticket when we charge $13?
Something's not right.
So from what I understand, the way they explained is you pay Movie Pass $10. Movie Pass pays AMC the full price, so they lose money on the sale, but what they retain is your information. So they retain your movie going history and what you search for, and then they sell that information to people who are marketing movies. So that way you're trading your information of what your viewing habits are, and I'm sure they give you surveys to find out what movies you're interested in, and they ask you what trailers you like, and they use that information to paint a picture of what kind of movie you're likely to go see, so they can market those movies at you so that you could spend money to go watch those movies. I'm almost willing to give that up. Oh no, I'm wrong. Hold on, I'm wrong. It's okay, maybe I should probably look this up, but I believe it was $10 a month for 1 ticket per day. Okay, hold on. I'm going to look this up because I don't want to be wrong, but because that sounds way too good to be true, because I think if that was the case, I would have already done it.
It doesn't sound like, unless your information is just that valuable.
Let me see it here. Okay, Movie Pass, the app. I believe it's, Movie Pass. So everybody and their moms was talking about this thing, and here's what it says. So for those who are interested, it's moviepass.com. Okay, yeah. So only any movie, any theater, any day, only $9.95 per month. So that means you're paying $10 a month, and every single day you can go see a new movie, essentially for $10 a month, which is kind of crazy. And now that I'm looking at this again, I think this is probably going to be, so it's $10 a month, and you get to watch 1 movie a day at a theater. And it says all major theaters work. That's a good deal.
You know what's a better deal?
What?
Bootleg and shit.
Yeah, but then you can't control the quality.
Wait till the HD copy comes out.
Yeah, but what if you can just go to the theater? Because you're already paying $10, right? Think about this. So you pay $10 for Netflix.
Yeah.
You pay $10 for HBO. You pay $10 for Hulu. That's $30, right?
You have a lot of services.
I do. I don't pay. I don't pay for any of those, by the way. These are all family and friends accounts.
Okay.
But think about it. So on average, let's say, and this is including if you decide to cut your TV. So let's say, for example, at my house, I pay $110 a month for TV, right? I cut that off and I only keep the internet. So instead of paying $110, I pay $70 for internet, let's just say.
Yeah. Then
I pay another $30 to have those 3 services, Netflix, HBO, and Hulu, right? So that brings me up to $100, back to $100, right? So I'm already saving $10. Add another $10 to that, and you now have a pass where you can go see the latest movies in the theaters, and you're only paying 1 price per month for 1 ticket a day. So you can go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, see everything the theater is showing, and then not have to go back until they bring a new movie out, and then you just go.
Because for me, when I go to the movie theater, I only see certain movies in the movie theater.
Right.
But I'm not going to go there and watch a drama.
But why?
Because I go for the visual effects. I go for the blockbusters. I go for action. I don't go to watch I'll go for a comedy like with my girl. But yeah,
but think about this. Most of the time you think about that, you're like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? I don't want to pay to go see that. But if you're paying $10 a month, you're paying it that $10 no matter what, and that gives you access to see any movie. So that that takes away a barrier from wanting to go. You don't think so?
Not for me.
I don't know. For me, I like all types of movies, and there's some movies that I kind of want to see.
Yeah.
And then I'm just like, I'll just wait to go on Netflix.
Does it work at Alamo Drafthouse?
That's a good question.
That's my spot.
Right.
I love that place.
It says all America's largest theater network, all major theaters. So maybe I don't think you can check until you actually get into. Well, hold on. Okay, so Alamo Drafthouse. Where's that
Brooklyn.
at? Brooklyn. Of course, it's in Brooklyn.
Atlantic. Near the mall.
Look, Nighthawk, which is similar to Alamo Drafthouse, just not as hipster.
Alamo Drafthouse doesn't have hipsters, man. They have rules.
No, they're hipsters. If it's in Brooklyn, it's
no talking. They'll kick you out. I like it.
Let me see. I do not believe Alamo Drafthouse is covered.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, I don't think so. But yeah, I don't think it is. But every other major theater is.
Yeah.
Which I mean, and to be fair, Alamo Drafthouse isn't a typical theater. Their tickets are probably considerably more expensive than an AMC theater, right?
I mean, if you're, it's up there. I mean, I'm being picky. Like, I know I'm not going to use it, but for other people who feel they go to the movies that often, yeah, I say go for it, try it.
Yeah. So like every theater that I go to in Manhattan is part of their network. So the AMC in Lincoln Center. I wonder if the AMC on 86th Street is. No, the AMC on 86th Street is not for whatever reason. That's kind of weird, but 86th Street.
They got the reclining chairs.
Yep. 42nd Street.
Of course.
23rd Street, 34th Street. The 34th Street by, the
Penn
AMC
Station.
on 34th Street on Penn Station is covered.
Union Square.
Yeah, pretty much any AMC Lowe's theater, which for the people who live in Manhattan, that's pretty much your only choice for a mainstream theater. Aside from the Regal Ewok that's on 42nd, but I'm pretty sure they're owned by by AMC as well.
They're just smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're in Manhattan and you want to go see any movie in the theater for just $10 a month, one flat fee, MoviePass might be your best bet as long as they don't go out of business. But yeah, I'm really excited. I forgot to sign up for it because when it was first announced, it was being jammed so hard that nobody could sign up.
Okay.
They kept saying every time you sign up, it was like, nah, come back later. So, yeah.
Servers are full.
That's exactly what it was.
There's one more movie I want to mention.
Talk about it.
I'm a big fan of Luc Besson. French guy.
Oh, the French.
He's done famous movie was Fifth Element. You ever see that Fifth Element? All right, yeah.
Of course. Who hasn't?
That's one of his biggest ones, right?
But who was he? Oh, he's a director.
Director.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's done numerous movies, right? Did a remake of Escape from New York in Outer Space with Guy Ritchie. It was all right. It wasn't bad.
I wish you guys could see my face.
But I've seen some of his independent films like Angela. I've seen a lot of his movies over the years, right?
Okay.
He's I won't say he's my favorite, but I got a lot of respect. I like his movies. But a few months ago, Valerian came out.
Oh, did you watch that?
Yeah.
And did you like it? Because I know it's very visual. It's very
visually
it's amazing.
100%. It was great. Like all the scenes, it was like, wow, this is beautiful. Story wise, I was like, dude, you're missing like a few chapters.
That's what I figured. That's what I figured.
Yeah, it was like all the way through from beginning to the end. It was just like.
I also feel like that movie came out of nowhere. You know,
like apparently it's supposed to have influenced like Star Wars. It's an old story,
right?
Graphic novel from or they didn't even call them graphic novels back then, but an old story from the 70s, sci-fi. But I'm like, yo, you left out a lot of information. Even towards the very end, I was like, oh, that's how you're gonna end it. You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's just, man.
I don't know what it is about that movie, but it felt like it came out of nowhere. And then when I saw the trailer, I was like, this seems like they put all the effort into the stunning visuals, but I can already tell from the actress that they cast, I forget her name, she's also a model, and the actor,
she's beautiful.
She's all right. She got some serious eyebrows. I can tell. I was like, they could have probably chosen better people, but I can imagine it's probably hard to get really big actors for a movie that nobody's ever heard of.
It was the largest independent movie made.
Oh, it was independent.
Yeah, well,
That's impressive.
that's what I read. They were like, yeah, it's the largest budget, the biggest budget for independent for indie. Because it's considered an indie film
right.
ever made. I was like, wow. Well, I mean, the film itself was beautiful.
Right.
The aliens, the scenery, all of it.
Mm-hmm.
The aesthetics, everything was on point. But the acting was horrible. The story was just like, eh. And then the main guy, because it was like the model chick, and then the guy, they're supposed to be soldiers.
Right.
She was okay with her part. She did a better job than a dude.
Mm.
But the guy was like, I'm supposed to believe that you're a soldier, an elite soldier at that.
Right.
Like, dude, you look like a white belt who just got out of Wendy's.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you don't. He doesn't have any. Like, I don't know. It just wasn't believable. And there were scenes where he was fighting, and I was just like,
no,
nah, just nah.
Yeah. Sometimes you get that. I don't know. I think you get that kind of vibe from movies when you watch the trailer. You're just like,
Like I say, I'm always for like science fiction and visuals. You know, I love seeing stuff on screen, big screen. So it's like, I saw it. You know,
yeah.
It's like, eh. But I don't know what's coming out. I haven't watched since, because I know most of the stuff came out in the summer, so I haven't been checking movie trailers. Besides, like the other day when I was just binging, checking out Kung Fu flicks, and I came across the one story I was just telling you about. I gotta remember that name.
Yeah. I mean, aside from it, I think the next movie I'm hype about, and most people are, is Star Wars.
Yes.
I mean that and like Thor, the new Thor movie.
That actually looks good.
Yeah, Thor. I like the '80s vibe they got going with it. I like that the intro
I didn't
music.
like the other two, but this one looks good.
I like the first one. I didn't like the second one. The third one looks badass, mostly because the Hulk's in there and they fight, and that they used Led Zeppelin's "The Immigrant Song" as the intro, which was badass. But I'm really excited for Star Wars. Like so much so that
The Villainous.
the Villainous
is
is the name of the movie. There you go.
Sorry.
You know, it's okay. But I'm so hyped for Star Wars that like I'm subscribed to a few channels on YouTube that are all about Star Wars stuff.
Okay.
And they're always like coming out with these videos about what they've discovered about the new upcoming movie, and I'm so tempted to watch them and hear like the rumors and what the movie could be about, like who Snoke is and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to ruin it for myself. I want to just like wait.
Surprised.
Yeah, it's like it's what 198 days away from coming out. It's coming out during Christmas time. I'm so hyped. I want to watch it, but I can't wait. I need more Star Wars. I've been devouring Star Wars content left and right. What's going on over there? You okay?
My YouTube is all. Maybe it's the app.
Could be the apps.
What the fuck is all this? This is different. Give me the regular shit.
Yeah. Oh, that's your new iPad.
Yeah.
Oh, you got a keyboard for it and everything. Look at you.
I don't get what the.
Well, while John searches his iPad for some interesting stuff, let's talk about some current events. So, today in the news, what are we talking about today?
There's one more thing I gotta mention.
Yeah.
Since I know we got off the topic and we were talking about
Movies and shit, but
Mhm.
I gotta come back to the hurricane in Texas.
Okay.
This is very important. So, right after I got off the phone with my sister, she texted me some information. She was like, "There's a panic right now because there's a gas shortage."
Mm-hmm. Which
So
is
she's
going
like-
on also in Miami.
Yeah, but this was the thing. Texas has tons of gas.
Right. That's what.
Tons.
Yeah, that's what surprised me.
So, but here's the thing. So I call her up because I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Because you have to drive everywhere. So she was like, there isn't a gas shortage, but because of some fake news article or something that somebody posted online, it created a panic with gas. So she was driving around with my nephew, picked him up from school, driving around to like several gas stations trying to get gas, but she couldn't because the lines were too long. And then by the time they got up to the pump, they were out of gas. And this happened when I text you this like a couple weeks ago, last week,
A couple days ago.
I think it was last week. And she's like, it's crazy because there isn't a gas shortage, but people are creating a gas shortage with the panic. And that took her and I into a conversation of just like, damn, you know, just when you think like you can prepare for so many things, there's a lot of things you can't prepare for. And so I was talking to her about like, you know, what do you do? Do you store gas? Because I know when I had a motorcycle, I kept extra gas, or had like a small gas. She was like, I can't. She's like, I can't keep gas in the car because it'll overheat, can explode, shit like that. So it's dangerous. And I was like, well, I didn't, something to think about. But earlier today, I was on YouTube, not really going down a rabbit hole of shit.
Yeah, you are. I can tell.
No. I haven't done that in a while. I don't do that anymore, man. So I just search for some videos and shit like shit hits the fan or apocalyptic shit, because most of the time I've seen all the good ones, right?
Yeah.
So nobody's gonna come out with anything new. But it was just one I came across. I forgot how, but it came up on my feed. And I was like, all right, fuck it, let me check it out. And I didn't watch it, so I don't know video quality. But what the guy was saying, the audio was good. It's like I always say, I rate these videos and shit. So the audio was good. And he was just talking about, the collapse is coming. Period. And I can't remember. I didn't look at it. I was listening to it while I was working, so I didn't see the date or when it was posted. But he was saying the collapse is coming. It's inevitable. The bubble is going to burst, and we don't have anything to back up our money. He's like, right now, a lot of states are trying to go for the gold standard for the money. Like I saw that about Texas. They're trying to do that, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, finally, people have been saying that for years, and then other people are like, oh, you can go back to the gold standard. We really should go back to the gold standard. But so this guy was just talking about that, and then he was saying things to do to prepare for when that collapse does happen. So I was like, all right, let me listen to what he has to say, blah, blah, blah. So he starts talking about like some practical things people should be doing. Like if you can try to invest in like gold, silver, right? Just to keep your money, actual money. Right. Because without that, paper is just paper. So he was like, try to invest in this. So if the collapse does happen, you at least have some sort of wealth because you invested in gold and silver. So, and then he talks about like some survival stuff and some shit to have as stock. But the only reason I'm mentioning it is because for once it was like, it seemed like practical information for a change. Because a lot of these videos, like I say, I always watch them for just fun and the what if aspect. But a lot of these people just like, they just way the fuck out there, watch way too many fucking movies. It's just unpractical information, right? But this guy, he was like, listen, he's like, if it collapses and the things do this and everything's going to happen, what are you going to do for your family? How will you do this? Do you have a car to get to? And it was like everything he would talk about people should invest in or buy for their safety. He was like, you got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. That was his whole model through the whole thing. That was like his whole agenda was just like, what is your plan for you and your family to survive, to outlast this? I was like, wow, finally somebody's like posted a video about something that was very practical that every single person should listen to.
Yeah,
it was different.
I mean, the information you hear always kind of either makes sense or it doesn't based on what's going on in the world around you at the time. Yeah. So if this guy was saying this to like 15 years ago, 20 years ago, it may not sound realistic, but now we see all these hurricanes and all this stuff happening, governments being all crazy. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't know.
Yeah, but let's touch on a little bit of current events.
Let's not go too deep down a rabbit hole.
No, let's not go too deep. So I'm assuming you've heard what President Trump did to the DACA thing.
Yes.
The Dreamers or whatever.
Yeah, man.
What do you think about that?
I mean, it's messed up because it's affecting children, right? Immigrant adults is one thing. The adults are one thing. But children is like, you got to be there for the kids, man. You got to love the kids. And if you don't love the kids, that's horrific, So
yeah, I think it's unfair.
It is
because
very unfair.
A lot of people that are being affected by it are, I mean, I wouldn't say they're kids, but they're
that's the thing. They come in here
as kids.
Yeah.
They didn't ask to be brought here. It was against their will, but it's for their better. It's for their own good. But it's one thing if you're an adult and you get in trouble for immigrating somewhere illegally, but if you're a kid and your parents brought you here because they know that you'd be better here, and now the government, this is the only country you've known, right? And you believe yourself to be an American, and all that makes the difference is whether or not you have a certain piece of paper. I mean, I know a lot of people who this affects. Like, I personally know people who this affects.
Same here. And
it's unfortunate. Yeah, it's just shitty. I don't see what the purpose of this was.
My friend's father was a coyote.
That's gonna be one hell of a job.
Yeah.
Smuggling people across the border.
He's no longer here. They got rid of him.
Damn.
Well, not got rid of him, but they deported him. Yeah, he's banned.
Yeah, they won't let you back in the country if you. Man, I know a Japanese girl who overstayed her visa by a little bit, and she left, and she tried to come back. They were like, "Nah, you're banned for 10 years. You can't come back to the United States for 10 years." She overstayed her visa, went back to Japan, and when she tried to re-enter the country, all her stuff was still here. Immigration was like, "No, you overstayed your visa by like a month or something," and they're like, "You are not welcome back in this country for 10 years."
Whoa.
She had to have all her stuff sent back to her by her friends or whatever. Oh, people think that America's borders are super lax. They're not. No, it's hard to get by, like, especially if you come into the country like via plane and you go through immigration. They keep track of every single person who comes in.
Fingerprinting and all that.
Oh, yeah, they're not playing around. They know exactly what they're doing.
I felt like I used to think I had it bad when I got checked through customs and shit every time I flew. And then I would see, like, other people, and it was like, damn, well, I can't really complain.
So there's one other thing aside from the political stuff. So Apple is slated to release their new iPhone.
Who cares?
Well, you're gonna care.
Virgin Mobile.
Yep. What's that? iPhone 5?
Yes, it was like $100.
Welcome to 2013.
$30 a month. This is the best. It works.
So here's why I think you're gonna be interested.
Why?
Your phone has a home button.
Yeah.
Fingerprint reader. You press it when you need to get back. New phone's not gonna have that.
Okay.
So how are you gonna unlock your phone?
Beep, my eye.
Your face.
Yeah.
So they're going to use the same technology that sort of what Snapchat does, where it maps your face to put on those cute filters. Now Apple's going to have the same or probably even better technology
Minority Report
to map your face and unlock your phone. So that information is going to be in their hands. Somewhere. And as we all know, information like that's stored can easily be obtained by the government should they choose to issue a subpoena or whatever to a warrant to Apple.
Well, don't forget that now they no longer need warrants to enter in your home.
In certain states.
Is that federal?
No, I think that's at the state level.
Oh, but right now it's just varies state to state.
It depends on the state.
Oh.
Yeah. For those who don't know, I didn't read the whole article, so we'll have to relink that, or we'll see if we can throw that link into the description. But apparently there's some states where courts have decided that the police no longer require a warrant to enter your house. All they need is suspicion of, I guess, terrorism. Domestic terrorism is the rubber stamp that they all use to enter your home without a warrant. So Google it, see if that's applies to you in whatever state you live in. That's something you should be aware of if all of a sudden you no longer have the right to, if you lose your Fourth Amendment, essentially.
Well, if they're labeling you a terrorist, you don't have any rights.
That's also true.
That's the whole Patriot Act. You're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an enemy to the state, an enemy combatant, if they can prove that you're a suspect, you're fucked.
You get put on that list that you never get taken off of.
You are fucked.
Yeah. Man, we live in some weird times. We live in some really weird times.
Like my parents, it's funny. It's like, see, I always think like each of our episodes always comes back to this type of shit. Whether we want to or not, we're always going to wind up, or we have been talking about the same thing. I think like the times are just, I don't even think they're shocking. I just think like this shit is just so fucking bizarre.
Yeah.
It's so bizarre what's going on in the world, the weather, politics, everything. Like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I've been saying it, I'm going to continue to say it. It's like, just show me the fucking aliens. Because I feel like shit is just, I feel it's that weird, man. There's a 3-mile wide asteroid coming our way.
Yep.
But there's no Nibiru.
Well,
all the shit could be fucking up because there's a planet coming to our direction. It's possible.
I, for one, am ready for the asteroid to end humanity.
I don't want to end.
I can't wait.
But I wouldn't mind living on some like Mad Max type shit.
Yeah, that too.
With some motorcycles and muscle cars driving around.
No, I would not bother me. Oh, quick aside.
Like 80s music and shit.
On the whole hurricane thing, there's a good podcast. I think I've mentioned it on a previous podcast where Sam Harris's podcast. So I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before on the podcast, but Sam Harris has a great podcast called Waking Up with Sam Harris, And his last episode, he had a guest on who is a scientist about climate change, and they're discussing all the hurricanes that are coming out. Very interesting conversation. I encourage everybody to go listen to it. His guest is very eloquent. Pretty much breaks it down into really just layman's terms. So if you're not familiar with any like scientific explanations or terms, you can listen to this podcast and you'll completely understand what they're talking about and why the science of climate change is important. I believe climate change is real. I mean, all that simply means is that the climate is changing and the behavior of humans is propelling the speed at which the climate is changing.
Yes.
It's not that the climate never changed. Of course, the climate changes. It's just that our interference with it is increasing the rate at which the Earth is changing, and it's not going to be good for humanity. Nope. And he mentions at some point, when you mentioned Mad Max, it triggered my memory. I was listening to it this morning because he mentioned that there's going to be a lot of places that are just going to become dust bowls. And he was saying that the dust bowlification of certain climates are going to be so bad that they're going to be so inhabitable that millions and like billions of people are going to suddenly move to the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be disastrous.
Yep.
Disastrous for people because
like
you're going to
India.
lose. Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of agriculture, so there's not going to be enough food to feed people.
Mm-hmm.
Potable water is not going to be readily available.
The basic resources.
Yeah, it's going to be terrible. And he said that this is all possible within the next 100 years. So we won't be around, probably, but our kids will, and their kids will, and it's going to be and pretty much he was shitting on the United States for not taking a more aggressive stance in being a leader in this thing, especially on Trump for having pulled out of the Paris Accords or whatever. But
because he doesn't believe in it.
Yeah, because he's a moron. And like most, I don't understand why people don't, like, it's not a hard concept. It's not a hard concept to think at all that climate change is in fact something that we should be taking serious.
Well, I mean, it's like why is there hatred? It's like some people still don't understand, like, oh, you shouldn't hate somebody based on the color of their skin, but they still do.
Yeah.
Like violence, like, I'm not talking about like anger or violence and retaliation. I'm just talking about unnecessary violence. There's just shit that goes on all the time.
Right.
And people just can't grasp these concepts because they don't want to.
Yeah.
But
it's I don't know. There's just so many weird connections for like people who don't believe in climate change also believe like in Jesus like hardcore.
Yeah.
It's a weird like connection. I don't get it.
People who believe in Jesus is a white man from the Middle East. It's like
also that. Yeah.
It's like you read the book, right? Yeah, but he's white.
But you know where it takes place.
And you sure. Like yes.
You know Egypt's in Africa, right? Like
did you know that Israel, or I guess Palestine, in that major section of the Middle East where all the wars and conflict are at, was Africa at one point? There was a canal that was built that cut it, that made that, when you look on a map now, you'll see like the water goes through it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a canal that was built. Prior to that canal being built, that was one big
that was
chunk
attached to Africa?
Of Africa. And there's like on old maps, because I don't know the exact date. I saw the shit online. I was like, what the fuck? It was like, yeah, it's like Seca or something. I gotta find an exact name. But there's a canal. There's a canal that was built that made that divide, that made the water go through. And I was like, damn, I never knew that.
I didn't know that either.
I never fucking knew that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, we are at an hour and 4 minutes. Do you want to wrap it up for today, or do you have something?
What you always say.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us.
That's not what you always say.
One more thing?
No, you always
anything
say,
else?
Yeah, there you go.
Anything else? There we go. We're keeping it consistent here at Chico and the Grin. So if you want to get in contact with us, if you want to send us a message, chicoandthegrin@gmail.com. You can send us a message if you like what you were saying. If you don't like what we're saying, if we're a bunch of jerks, let us know.
Hey, if there's articles or information that you want to share or you don't want to talk about it, but you feel like, hey, let somebody else talk about it, but I found this information, send that to us too.
Yeah, we'll read it. We'll talk about it. We're on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, yeah, all that good stuff. So follow us. We're at Chico at the Grin on everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Yeah, I mean, that's been our show. This is episode number 6.
One more thing I gotta add.
Okay.
We're not perfect. This is a work in progress.
Yep.
I appreciate everybody out there who's been sticking with us, downloading, following us online, just staying in contact with us. You know.
Same. It's a big deal when we see people actually downloading our show
Yeah.
and watching it. We really appreciate it.
Listening.
Listening. Watch. That's right. Sorry, I'm a creature of YouTube. If you are a fan, you know, if you like what you hear, please feel free to rate us on iTunes or Google Play or whatever app you use to listen to podcasts on. It'd be greatly appreciated. I think in the future we want to expand to YouTube. So we're going to do that soon. We're working on that. But again, thank you for listening. God damn it. Thank you for listening to our show. This is Chico.
The Grin.
And we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Bye.